So everyone, at the end of the latest Supergirl episode, we just got a very interesting Elseworlds scene involving the Monitor and Earth 90's Flash, if you will, Barry Allen, played by John Wesley Shipp. This is a really cool scene. There's a lot of Easter eggs and stuff like that to go over. Plus, when adding the information together, you can kind of figure out exactly what the Monitor is doing. So let's go over this new Elseworlds scene. How's it going, people of the Arrowverse? Welcome to a brand new Elseworlds update. Now, I'm very happy to say we've actually got our first clip, as I just said in the intro, but either way, our first actual scene teasing or basically introducing the Elseworlds crossover. Now, this was in last night's Supergirl, and this scene will actually be played again apparently at the end of the Arrow episode this week and the Flash. I'm guessing they're doing that just because everyone might not watch Supergirl and they might watch the Flash. Even if they don't watch that, I'm sure they watch Arrow. So one way or another, with whatever show you watch, I'm sure everyone will get a chance to see this. But anyway, you're probably seeing this in this video or some other video on YouTube. But anyway, guys, I'm going to be quiet and show you guys the actual scene, and we're going to go over everything that this means, because we've actually got quite a bit of context as to what the Monitor is doing in this scene for the Elseworlds crossover from teasers that Stephen Amell and other places have given us. So anyway, roll the Elseworlds scene.
You failed.
Why are you doing this?
You did this to yourself. And now, all of you will perish.
So you have to admit, everyone, that was a really cool teaser to give everyone before the actual Elseworld crossover comes next week, and I can't believe that it is almost here already. But anyway, what I really appreciated about the beginning of this on Earth 90, which within itself, by the way, Earth 90, isn't it meant to be 52? But like, you know, there was 53 Earth X, but technically there is an infinite number of Earths, but technically there wasn't, because they said 52/53, but now there's 90. I don't know. I would love to know what you think they're doing there. Do you think it's just back and forth writing with like 53 Earths, technically with the Crisis on Earth X, or do you reckon there's 90? Do you reckon there is an infinite amount of realities or multiverses and universes, which there technically is? I mean, regardless, I appreciate it because, you know, 90s Flash, Earth 90, we kind of get what they did there. But going back to what else I appreciated was definitely the amount of kind of heroes we had at the beginning. Now, I can't make out every single one. Maybe you guys can. Let me know who you think the other bodies are on the floor and the dirt there. We had like Stargirl, we had, I believe I saw Hawkgirl's helmet and maybe Hawkman's. I think there was Captain Cold there, or Earth 90's Captain Cold, and quite possibly a few others. And that is when we saw Earth 90's Barry Allen like crawling along the floor, like maybe like possibly the only hero left on Earth 90, and that is when the Monitor presents himself and then shite goes down. And also just to let everyone know that this is actually Barry Allen. TV Insider got quite a few scoops. Now I guess technically, as he's called Barry Allen and the fact that he's the Flash, so in terms of comic book logic or whatever, Grant Gustin's Earth 1's Barry Allen would technically grow up to look like this Earth 90's Barry Allen. So as Earth 90's Barry Allen, or the Flash should we say, is crawling along the floor trying to get his hands on what I like to call the Book of Reality, the Monitor enters the frame and picks up the book. Now this is where in the part of the breakdown you must be wondering what the heck is going on Earth 90, and does this make the Monitor evil? Like, is he the big villain of the crossover now? Let's not be mistaken here, the Monitor isn't the big bad of the crossover, even though it may seem like it. In all the trailers, he's been handing the Book of Reality to Dr. Destiny. Now we see him on Earth 90, like saying, you did this to yourself, and the Flash escapes just in time before whatever he does with the Book of Reality, which I think maybe is destructing that world or just wiping it from existence because it failed. What is going on? Why are all the heroes dead? Why is everything on fire? Well, I think I've got a very good answer for that, and it's kind of an obvious one anyway, but it's not as concrete as some people may think. But there is quite a bit of information covered by like TV Insider stuff Mark Guggenheim has said, the actors like Stephen Amell or Entertainment Weekly has reported on. So Mark Guggenheim did say that this crossover is essentially the groundwork, laying down the groundwork for the next crossover, which is most likely going to be the Crisis event, which will hopefully maybe merge all the Earths into one Earth. Because, I mean, I get it as to why, you know, as shows came along, Supergirl was on CBS, blah, 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 they put them on different Earths, but I think a lot of people, especially myself, would love everything to just be on one Earth, even with other Earths maybe being out there or whatever. I want Supergirl and Superman and everything to be on Earth 1. So you may be thinking, okay, Boba, like, this may be setting up the groundwork for next year's crossover, but you're not answering what the heck the Monitor is doing here. Why Earth 90? It seems to be getting blown up or whatever, and the Monitor is seemingly acting evil. Well, this is what Stephen Amell had to say, and I think this kind of answers a heck of a lot. The whole essence of the crossover is that there is a giant threat coming. What you have is a character called the Monitor, who is basically testing universes to see which universe is going to be best able to withstand the incoming threat. So I think that practically answers it. So, laying down the groundwork for next year's crossover, we've got the Monitor. A lot of people are thinking, is the Anti-Monitor going to be on this crossover? Well, I can definitely say he most likely won't be, but I'm hoping for quite a few references to him. But that doesn't mean that we won't be seeing him possibly next year, because what I believe that the Monitor is doing here with what Stephen Amell has said is essentially trying to go around to each universe, and at the moment of what we're seeing in this teaser is Earth 90. He's possibly giving each universe a hell of a hard time, as we see in this teaser trailer for Earth 90, and Earth 90 failed, so he's going to go on, wipe this one out and go to the next reality, so he can finally find the right fit, like the right shoe match, so to speak, to defend against who, you may be asking? The Anti-Monitor. Now you may be thinking that still seems to be like a kind of dickish thing to do on the Monitor's behalf, and that technically is, but the Monitor is like, as they say themselves, like beyond good and evil, and I think he, especially with his character and the way things are, and this imminent threat, or as Stephen Amell said, this giant threat that is coming, possibly in next year's crossover, is so big that all realities will be wiped. Everything will just be gone. So he's just thinking, well, I'm just going to keep testing them. It doesn't matter if a few go, I guess. The bigger thing at stake here is finding the right reality, the right universe, which will end up probably being Earth 1, and then obviously equipping them to fight against the Anti-Monitor in the Crisis event next year, I'm guessing. So for sure, yeah, obviously it's absolutely horrible, the Monitor going around testing all these Earths, like Earth 90, destroying it, and even though Barry Allen escapes and he'll be in this Elseworlds crossover, probably telling them what the Monitor did on his Earth, in the Monitor's mind, who oversees the universe, he is just doing what he deems is right, even though it may be deemed harsh, but he might deem it necessary. So at this point, there could have been quite a few universes who have failed the Monitor's task, proving to him that they can actually fight against the Monitor, but I'm wondering maybe Earth 90 is the first one, because this leads me back to the actual poster. As what you're seeing on screen right now, we see this planet in the background exploding, so you would have to think perhaps that is actually what we're seeing going down in this trailer, when the Monitor opens the Book of Reality and he's perhaps, I don't know, blowing it up, because, I mean, it's pretty screwed anyway. I could be wrong here, but either way, what he's doing with the Book of Reality there is definitely no good, because at this point, everyone's failed, so he's like, right, check that one off the list, and let's move to, I don't know, Earth 38 or Earth 42, and possibly, as we know in this crossover, Earth 1. But also you have to think of how this ties into everything else in the crossover. Why is Dr. Destiny still getting the reality book? How does black-suited Superman fit into all of this? And that is a very good question. So what I'm wondering possibly is that maybe the Monitor gives godhood-like powers, as he puts it in his own words in the trailer, to maybe someone on said Earth or each universe, so let's say Earth 90's universe, he gave it to a bad person there, let them rain absolute havoc, and then hopefully if they can pull it around, then they've proved themselves. If not, then they failed. And then as we saw in this trailer, he would move on to the next reality. So maybe in the Elseworlds crossover, what I'm wondering is that he gives the book of reality to Dr. Destiny for him to cause a load of crap, and in this crossover, for lack of a better way to put it, he's trialing Earth 1. How will they fare against Dr. Destiny? How will they fare against the black-suited Superman? Sure, you could also say that maybe the black-suited Superman caused havoc on Earth 90 and he might be the trial and tribulation for each universe to stand up against, and if they do succeed, then they are sure enough to face off against the Anti-Monitor in the next year's crossover. Sure, that could be a thing, but I'm not so sure he's hopping around to each universe as a trial to each Earth. I'm thinking that maybe it's more along the lines of the first theory that I said, that when the Monitor gives godhood and the Book of Reality to Dr. Destiny, the black-suited Superman is a part of this whole trial and tribulation of Earth 1, and hopefully our heroes of Earth 1 can face up against the Monitor's test and not fail as Barry Allen / Earth 90's Flash's Earth did, with all of those dead heroes on the floor, and that is their universe, I guess, essentially gone forever. So I think maybe not only does the planet die, but he wipes that universe from existence. Maybe he has that power with this freaking godlike book. Also, with the context of this now, when Earth 90's Flash Barry Allen says in the trailer that we got not so long ago, "You will not do to this Earth as what you did to ours," or something, I'm pretty sure he might not actually be speaking to the black-suited Superman like a lot of people thought that he was. This is where all the heroes are like walking along on that road and they're standing there and facing off against someone. I think that it probably is the Monitor. And as I said, like, they might think he's evil, but you have to kind of put yourself outside that situation and kind of look at the Monitor more or less as really emotionally detached. He thinks he's doing the right thing, but obviously doing a lot of bad, trying to achieve overall universal rightness, if that makes sense. I think regardless, at the end of this crossover, this will be the best crossover yet, not only because of what is the story that's being written into it, but it's going to have such repercussions. I definitely think that it's going to be a part 1 of 2 though, for, as what Guggenheim said, it's laying down the groundwork for next year's, because they're just getting prepared, and out of all the universes the Monitor has potentially gone to, or still has to go to, and is just apparently on Earth 1 at the moment, they will pass the test and they'll prove themselves to face up against the big threat that is coming, as Stephen Amell said, which I think couldn't be more self-explanatory that it is the Anti-Monitor. I mean, if it was some other random character, it'd be a bit like, what? Really? Like, you're doing this Anti-Monitor like storyline, but introducing someone else. So I think it is safe to say that the Monitor is coming to Earth 1 now, testing them for the threat of next year's crossover because the Anti-Monitor is coming. I'm still hoping though that in this crossover some real big repercussions will stay, like reality having changed it a little bit because of this book being involved. I definitely don't think Earths will merge in this crossover. That will probably be the next one because of the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths thing and the fact that the Anti-Monitor and the big threat, if you will, isn't coming this crossover. Obviously, this is just a preparation from the Monitor's side of things until next year. But either way, guys, as if you couldn't tell, very hyped. I know this has been a bit of a blabble and gluing certain pieces of information to others and trying to make sense of it all, but I think we've got a very good idea now. Let me know what you thought of this teaser down in the comments below. Also, let me know if you can fill in and add anything onto this whole theory speculation as to what I've got going on here. Be sure to check back here, guys, for all updates and news related to it. Of course, reviews when the Elseworlds crossover comes out. But let me know if you like this video, guys, by leaving a like on it. Of course, subscribe to the channel with notifications on to never miss out on a single video. Links, as always, are in the description down below. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you speedsters and everything else, superflies and vigilantes, in the next video. Goodbye.